sad to say because they're pretty disruptive and destructive, especially like if one of those guys were able to actually reach the presidency, the Democrats have the House all DSA, Senate's all DSA. I don't know how America would look. I think crime would skyrocket. I think the national debt would go even higher. Um, we would be borrowing money, printing money, inflation would be through the roof, in my opinion. They're just going to be regulating a bunch of businesses. Yeah, the regulation of businesses is just going to hurt capitalism. Um, and they're also going to run on this. Okay, we're going to give you a bunch of free stuff: healthcare, Medicare for all. And if they run on that Medicare for all mumbo jumbo and healthcare for all, well, first of all, let me explain why universal healthcare is bad. Look at veterans healthcare. That's government paid healthcare. It's terrible. Veterans don't really get the service they need. We can't trust the government to be giving people all this money. It's it's not a good idea. And we can't trust the government to give people proper care. If we can't trust them now, what makes us think we can trust some DSA member, some DSA president just spending a whole bunch of money on healthcare and on universal healthcare? And I think it would just our budget would increase, GDP, whew, inflation go through the roof, national spending. We would be in a larger deficit than we already are in, and I don't think people are gonna be able to get proper care. I think it's gonna be a lot worse. There's gonna be lack of resources. People are gonna have too much. First of all, America's a sick country. We have a huge obesity rate, and I don't think America's compatible with universal health care. 'Cause people are just sick in America, and nobody's really wanting to get better, and I think that's a huge issue. Because obesity rates for kids are like 50%. Obesity rates for adults, like 40. And I think that's just gonna keep growing. America, we are a very gluttonous country. Sorry, somebody has to say it, we are. And I don't really see much of a push other than RFK. I'll give credit to the Trump administration for pushing MAHA, for redoing the food pyramid, which was needed. And I think that just universal healthcare in general wouldn't be a good idea. I think maybe if the government pays for stuff above 100K, actual expensive stuff, that would be a good idea. But just everything in general, not a good idea. What else did DSA push? Some of them want to get rid of prisons, amnesty for illegals. Here's the thing with illegal immigrants. They don't even, we give them more than they make, more than they pay us too. And most illegals don't even pay taxes. Isn't that crazy? And I don't know why we're just gonna let that let them just stay here. We need to just end all welfare for illegals. And if we were able to do that, I think well, I'm not a big fan of welfare. Here's why. Because sorry, I'm a little sick. Welfare is one of the most frauded, scammed things. You can see this with all the Somalis in Minnesota. A lot of their scams are with welfare, with benefits, with government not pensions, but just government funding in companies. And it's just so frauded, and it just increases our national debt. And I don't think that's a good idea. idea to start just giving people a lot of money because people start getting reliant on that money. Look at what happened to Native Americans. They've just become super reliant on that, which is sad. And I think they should own private property. I've heard that some of them can't. And I think they should. Everybody should be able to own private property. I don't think the government should be in charge to take private property away. But it's crazy. It's a big issue. Oh, they also, and I'm not a big fan of abolishing ICE either. There are some standpoints where I could see that for funding reasons, abolishing that, but I don't think that's really needed. I don't think ICE itself takes up that much money in funding, but how they're able to operate really it kind of benefits us because they're able to stop a lot of these drug smugglings, uh, child traffickers. They're able to stop most of that, which who else is gonna do that when if ICE gets abolished? And I think that ICE itself, that it does generally benefit the United States and the people from the United States. I don't really see why backlash, so much backlash for that organization. I don't know why people really don't want to deport illegal immigrants because illegal immigrants are technically criminals. They've committed a crime. It's in our Constitution. They are illegal aliens. They need to be deported under law. And I don't know why we have to just keep them here. And along with they don't even pay taxes and they just get a lot of government benefits. And I'm not a big fan of that either. So some other issues I do see with DSA. Well, Mamdani, he recently opened this city paid grocery store. Here's the thing about that. I just think that there's gonna be so much theft, so much. It's just food's gonna get rotten. I don't know if there's gonna be enough upkeep for that. And he's having budgeting issues. He just pushed the budget problem up like 10 years. So and he's gonna worry about it then if he does stay in office that long. He's probably gonna make somebody else catch the fall of New York City. But yeah, and there's also this rise of lab-grown meat. Not a big fan of that either. A lot of the DSA hasn't really talked much about agriculture and farming, but they're big about the environment. So I have a feeling that most DSA members, politicians, they would probably back lab-grown meat. And lab-grown meat, it's not really that good for you. It it causes tumors and cancer it's just obviously it's not a good thing to be ingesting in your body. Something that was made in a lab, processed with chemicals to grow. Just put two and two together. Along with that, what else? But yeah, I can give credit to the left for actually going out, doing these protests, rallies, going door to door. That's something the right needs to do a lot more. Oh, for heaven's sakes, you guys didn't even see it. I gotta add the stage. There we go. Okay. Raise wages, build a people power. We have a obesity. We do need lower wages. I don't think that's because of the billionaires, so I don't think taxing them higher. They have no assets to tax in the first place. Like, what are we gonna be taxing? All their stuff's in like real estate, stocks. Just can't tax that. It's just not humanly possible. All in crypto stuff we can't even access. Billionaires aren't even that rich. The most they don't have $1 trillion they can spend. That's our whole net with all the companies built up. You can't really tax those things. And I most of these guys think that we can, but we can't. Union organizer, okay, fine with people from gouging their prices to lead the resistance. They're just a lot of these DSA members. They like to blame, and they don't really want to hold themselves accountable too. 'Cause, hey, let's not forget, you were a state representative too. You're part of the problem, okay, man? Serving as a executive director of Florida. Okay, I want to hear your policy priorities. Here we go. Where we stand. Yeah, everything does cost too much, and I don't think that's billionaires' fault. Okay, Medicare for all, free childcare. Who's gonna pay for that? Oh, you're gonna raise taxes. Okay. I don't see a single thing that says, "Oh, I'm just gonna lower taxes." Nope. It's tax billionaires what? You just can't tax $2 billion out of their bank account. It's not possible. A rent freeze? You can't really stop capitalism. I don't think you should. You're just gonna make landlords poor and everybody's gonna be poor. The the prices can't even go up or down. The person living there is gonna be poor too. Universal jobs program with inflation adjusted wages. Okay, if we're starting to give people wages, national debt. Okay, let's hear Medicare for all. Yeah, we are. No, we're not the richest. More for worse outcomes than anywhere else in the developed world. If you want to go to Cuba and look for, okay, Cuba's not developed. Okay, if you want to go to Canada, nothing's stopping you. Their healthcare system's not that good. It's just lack of resources. It's a protection racket for insurance and drug I do believe big pharma is part of that problem, but I don't think universal healthcare would even help benefit that at all. You gotta go to the companies itself. And I think less restrictions on the companies from actually producing would lower costs. So, Medicare for all, free at the point, no premiums, no deductibles, no copays. It's gonna cost a lot. Okay, coverage. Companies already cover people. If you look at any usual any company in general, they cover health insurance, not car insurance, but they cover health insurance. And I don't know why we, the government, have to pay for that. Capping, you can't, if you start capping it, they're gonna, there's gonna be so much backlash because there's already so many restrictions on that, on drug costs. Okay, the right to abortion, I'm not going to get into that. There's no way we can even ban abortion in the United States, let alone make abortion widespread and legal. So I think just leaving it to the states to decide and having states actually voting on that is a lot better option than just banning it overall or just l- legalizing it all over. Expanding home community-based long-term so seniors can age with dignity. Social Security is a scam. If she's talking about increasing that, then Social Security, you're just taxing some young worker and just giving it to some old guy who probably didn't need it. And no, it's not even it goes to that old person. It doesn't really go to you. People don't even get that much Social Security. Okay, paid family medical leave for every worker, guaranteed by law. Companies already do that. I don't think I don't know how the government's plan on doing that. We already have a huge federal government already, like a bunch of workers. I personally don't think it's a good idea to increase that due to the fact that getting more federal government jobs makes less private sector jobs. It's a fact. Like the more federal government jobs we have, the less private sector jobs we have. It's a proven fact. You can look that up. Childcare for pre-K. Okay, let's learn about that. Living wages. Okay, yeah, I do agree. Teachers do need to get paid a lot more, but that's not up for the government. That's for the school districts because the Department of Education doesn't really deal with funding. They're more for not even curriculum. I don't even know what they really do. They're kind of a useless organization. Okay, the thing with universal school meals, a lot of kids don't even go hungry to school. It's just the kids' lack of discipline and wanting to make a breakfast if they are hungry. And I know that firsthand. Uh, okay, let's look at foreign policy. And the war in Iran, agree with that. Rebalancing federal budget to invents. Okay, the way you're saying it, our federal budget would probably increase and our deficit would with all this Medicare. Okay, military aid. It doesn't say all military aid. And she wants to increase all foreign aid. The thing about foreign aid in general, it goes to the richest people of the country, and you expect them to just distribute it evenly. That's not how it works. And it it doesn't really ever go to the people. It just stays for their federal. For example, let's say we sent 20 billion to Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan's government would get that. How can we trust them? Just okay, we're gonna plop it around. No, they're just gonna hoard it all. Ending mass surveillance. I do agree with that. We do need to get rid of Flock. Okay, she's trying right here for this sh- and data sharing with federal immigration enforcement. Like I know she's trying to curry favor for all these voters who are sensitive to. Oh my goodness, ice out immigrations. We like eliminating immigration. Let's go, dude. We get it. Okay, you don't have to blame ICE for everything. Okay, yeah, I agree with ending federal funding for mass surveillance systems without guardrails. Yes, any federal mass surveillance. Do not support my tax dollars going to that. Okay, here we go. Protecting democracy, getting money out of politics. Here we go. How is she gonna abolishing super PACs? Okay, good idea. APAC should be abolished. Should register under FAFA. Restoring and expanding the voting rights. Ending racist voter suppression and burdensome voter IDs. Can you tell me how a voter ID is racist? If someone doesn't have their ID, is that the federal government's fault? No, it's theirs. We can't blame the government for racist voter suppression. I don't know how voter suppressions are rooted in racism. I'm interested to hear how she thinks that, why she thinks that. Public financing of elections. B- Corporate donations. If a corporation wants to donate, they can. I don't really shouldn't ban the PACs in general. We should stop them from donating because it just creates this bribery, which nobody in America wants. It just makes untrustworthy politicians. State out for Washington. That's just a hassle. I don't think anybody in Washington, D.C. wants that. I have to get a whole government there. The state's, like, tiny. That'd be a tiny state. Smaller than Rhode Island. Real binding process for Puerto Rico. State-owned independence-free association with another path. Decided by the people. No vote, President, no vote. I'm pretty sure people in Puerto Rico can vote. I'm pretty sure they voted for Trump, and they're citizens. I don't know how that's our fault. I don't know what she plans to do with Puerto Rico. Hmm, okay. Billionaires and corporations pay their fair share. 5% annual tax. Only a net worth above 1 billion. Okay, what are they going to be taxing? People who make $1 billion pay less taxes than somebody who makes 100K. Common sense. Closing loopholes and cracking down corporate price gouging. Wow. Okay, that's it.